Simply Scuba presents the Deco Stop podcast.
Hi everybody and welcome to the Deco Stop podcast. I'm Mark, I'm joined as ever with...
Sean, my name is Sean, hello, I'm new to the channel.
And we're here to talk about scuba diving and interesting stuff. So starting off, just getting the website updates out of the way. So the first thing is on the Simply Scuba website, we've got a few new bits and bobs. The main ones are Kubi dry glove systems and Fourth Element gloves. So if you don't know Kubi gloves, they're a huge brand in the dry glove industry for your dry suits, basically keeping your hands dry. Makes it much better when you're diving in colder waters because you still have the dexterity. You don't need thick clunky gloves to keep your hands warm, so you can still feel what you're doing. So if you're muddling around with 7mm gloves and you're really struggling to do up clips and stuff, maybe it's worth considering Kubi dry gloves because they have a metal ring system, so they're tough as nails. Fourth Element for the 2021 season, they've updated their glove range, so they've got the new 3mm, the 5mm Hydro Lock and the Kevlar. The 3mm has quite a clever system where you can actually cut the cuff shorter if you want, but it's not going to like unravel the main seam. They've put these special like bar stitchings along it, so you can sort of cut it to length if you don't want the really long cuffs. Both the 5mm and the Kevlar have this Hydro Lock sort of ring seal on them as well, so it helps to slow water ingress. And obviously the Kevlar gloves, they have this sort of Kevlar lining, so if you're touching things, if you're collecting stuff under the water, whatever it is, touching sharp things under the water, they're like cut resistant. I used to use them when I was teaching, and they give you pretty good grip in the water as well. So yeah, they are available.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Can they stop bullets to Kevlar gloves? Like a Kevlar vest?
I didn't test that.
Why not? Right, next time I'm going to shoot you and you've got to try and stop a bullet with the Kevlar glove.
It's kind of hard to get firearms here in the UK, and it wasn't worth going through really all of the police checks to get a firearms license just to test out a pair of gloves. But
Well, I can test it with my machete then.
Oh, good Lord.
Just hack at your hands. It'll be all right.
It's like people, you know, when they put their hands on a dartboard and you're like, this isn't going to end well.
No.
It's like, it doesn't matter how good you are at darts, even in like the world championships or whatever they call it, you still see them miss. It's like, these guys, this is all they do. Whereas Steve, who's had a few pints, is like, yeah, I'm great at darts. It's like, no.
Mate, Steve is amazing at darts after a few pints. He's amazing.
The problem is Frank, who put his hand on the dartboard, now has a hole in the back of his hand.
Yeah.
But a good story going forwards and explaining that minuscule scar. Do you want to know how I got this tiny little pinprick of a star on the back of my hand? Anyway, moving on to the green initiative. So we're just talking about sort of packaging at the in today's podcast. So the packaging at the Simply Scuba warehouse. So we make special boxes. First of all, the boxes are made out of recycled materials, so we're doing that. But also the boxes are specifically made to be as small and compact as possible. So, I mean, I was telling Sean before we started recording that years and years ago, and this was probably about 10 plus years ago, I ordered a pair of replacement boot laces from my Timberland boots, and this literally A3 sized box turned up, and all it had in it was just this pair of boot laces. And it still happens today with some companies, but not Simply Scuba, because we have a special machine which basically folds down boxes to the minimum size to protect whatever your order is. But it basically means that we're not shipping empty packages. So fewer delivery trucks are required because you can fit more inside of them, and it's just better for the environment with all the emissions and all that kind of stuff. So I just thought that was interesting. We had
It's really good. Yeah, I love it.
I think I uploaded a video from our warehouse a few months back showing the machine kind of doing its thing. It's like a conveyor belt, and then it kind of scans the box that goes in or the product that goes in, and then it basically makes its own little like sort of cardboard box and folds it down to size, and then sort of seals it up, and then it does it all automated. It's a very clever mechanism and very, very eco-friendly, because that's all our company is about.
Yes. And I guarantee we're the only ones, definitely in the UK, maybe even the world, that is a scuba diving store that has that machine.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. No one else does. No, none of our other competitors are as eco or as green as us. And that is a guarantee stamp, guys.
Seal of approval.
Because I painted our warehouse green. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing else. We've got a really green warehouse.
That's not how this works. Anyway, onto social media channel updates. So first of all, we're looking at the YouTube.
I am. Hello, the YouTube. Welcome, guys. It's me, Sean. So YouTube, our vote is now live. And as of recording, in third place, we have the best places to learn scuba diving, preferably somewhere in water. That's going to be number one, if that wins. Second place with 33%, we have 5 Things Not to Say on a Liveaboard, which I keep putting up, and it never wins.
People vote for it, but not enough people.
Yeah, it's always the what is it? Always the
What, the negative?
No. It's never the bride. Always the
always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah, that's the one. And then obviously number one at 40%.
Dresses.
Yeah, I've never seen that movie. So anyway, 40% is How to Be the Best Tech Diver. Funnily enough.
All right. Just buy a bunch of bolt snaps and some vented fins. There you go, done. Boom.
Yeah, wicked.
There's the video.
Well, then it should be a nice, easy one for you to film. I'll just take that audio clip and then stick a movie of someone diving. It's going to be about 10 seconds. Cool. But yeah, so the vote's on. Go over there. Go vote. It's on our community tab. Do it or we'll break your legs. Thank you very much.
It's kind of close. Normally we get a real outrider winner. Yeah. But this week it's 41%, 32%, 27%. They're kind of.
I'm going to say the best place to learn to dive. That's not going to happen. It's going to be. I still think the best tech diver is going to win, but
yeah.
It is going to be slim pickings. I still am the underdog. I'm still the team. 5 Things Not to Say on a Liveaboard. So guys, if you're listening, make a load of new accounts on YouTube, make a load of new emails, and let's do this fraudulently. Don't do that, people. That's a very naughty thing to do.
But if you do want to sort of subscribe to the Simply Scuba YouTube
channel, of course, yeah, you can do that as well. If you're going to vote, you might as well, subscribe. Anyway, swiftly moving on before we get in trouble. So I want to talk about Daily Scuba News. Now, normally I would look at the stats. I look at these sorts of the figures 3 months down the line. But it's a bit of a weird one, because as soon as we stop doing DSN, our viewership, basically everything, not necessarily skyrocketed, but it went from nice steady flow like you normally get to boom to it being an amazing. Like our sub count went up, our watches have gone up. Now I just want to talk to you, Mark, and see whether you think this is due to Daily Scuba News actually finishing, and obviously the channel going back to what it was, product-led based and advice with a bit of fun, or I think as well, to be fair, it's probably going to be a mixture of the both, but I reckon now our season normally starts, beginning of June?
Yeah,
March,
it's kind of
June
May
time.
Yeah, March, April, May is when it starts to accelerate.
But I reckon due to the lifting of restrictions and people going back on holiday, which obviously I'll talk to you about later, I reckon our season has officially started.
Oh, definitely.
For people who don't know what we're talking about, basically, Simply Scuba, the channel itself is seasonal. It has a season. Now, pre-COVID, the plan was to make it all year round. So the plan was for me to drop the season, to think about what we're filming, how to film it, when to release it. So then there's content or videos all year round that people watch all year round. And pre-COVID, we were actually hitting the marks. We were hitting the numbers. We were going in the right direction where our biggest, not necessarily flat, but basically we were being watched all the time. We were always in the green all the time. COVID hit, and then we thought, well, our old CEO's like, well, that's brilliant. People are going to be at home watching our videos. Yeah, no one wants to watch videos of diving if no one's diving.
When they can't.
And they can't dive. So we saw a plateau, which is nothing well. But yeah, so basically it kind of reset everything. And obviously because of COVID, yeah, I just think the season's kicking off now. So it's a couple of months later, which is very interesting. But yeah, I just thought it was a bit weird that we stopped Daily Scuba News and then literally our things skyrocketed. I mean, obviously stopping Daily Scuba News increased our viewership for unboxing videos, which is really cool. Which is cool. What else? Yeah, and then obviously as well we changed tack. So the dive brief as well, because there was no Daily Scuba News and we were putting more focus on the website. The videos where obviously you talk about either versus, so dive computers, or the top favourite, the best whatever regs, BCDs and dive computers for 2021. Those videos have done fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's what we always kind of wanted the channel to be. It's like help people out with diving equipment so that they can make the most informed decision instead of, someone just did something under the water and it's fascinating. It's more, do you want to know about this dive torch? This is the dive torch. If you have any questions about it, just ask. That's kind of where we wanted to be instead of a news outlet.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was just a bit of a weird time. That's what I'm talking about now. Normally I'd give it 3 months until the stats and stuff. But yeah, literally as soon as we dropped it, the channel, I mean, we had a good viewership anyway, but yeah, it's just blown up.
Yeah, the past year and a half have been quite hard because it didn't really fall into any like traditional like template. We couldn't just say, oh well, yeah, it's spring, so this is what we need to be doing, and this is how people are going to react. It's like, oh no, but okay, it's spring, but actually, yeah, people can't go out diving in this country. In that country they can. So yeah, it is very muddled and it's hard to predict. And I think we got a bit more of this sort of uncertainty going forwards. But yeah, no, it is interesting to see how it affects numbers numerically.
Yeah, it's good. But I will say this, guys. So fans of DSN, if this continues, it's never coming back. Not even one-offs. There's no point in even doing one-offs because we've got the system basically in place. So sorry about that. If this carries on, which it probably will do, Daily Scuba News is officially dead. I mean, it was officially dead when we killed it, but we were saying, if there's a cool story, we might do it. No.
I mean, since we did that, I haven't come across a news story that really made me go, oh yeah, let me do an entire story. I mean, the closest would be Deep Dive Dubai opening its doors, but it's like, I mean, people get all of that from an Instagram post.
Thanks to Will Smith.
Yes,
good old Will Smith. But yeah, so just food for thought. It's just an interesting thing. I'm very excited that our numbers are going up. It's good that the season has started to kick off. But yeah, I reckon there's more to it. But again, I'll talk to you about later because that's going to be the question. So that's YouTube. Everything's going well on YouTube. It's nice to see. Daily Scuba News definitely isn't coming back. The dive brief, that the dive brief now, obviously, the dive brief before was whatever Mark would kind of want to talk about. It was if we can get it specific about the website, to obviously get you guys and girls to go over to the website and check bits out there. But now it's definitely got its fine tune. It's got its the versus series, the comparison series, and the top 5 whatever best dive computers. That is what the dive brief is going to be, and quite frankly should be. And hopefully when we get more stock in, it will also throw in New In, which is a super popular video, which I know you guys and girls love watching. It's just that where we're getting back on our feet, even though we're getting new stuff in, and we're getting like obviously beforehand, we've got bikinis and stuff in stock now. But that's not something that we really, really obviously want to sing about, because we're a scuba diving channel. You know, we don't care if the latest O'Neill bikini blueprint, whatever, on our website. It doesn't really matter. But go and buy them, because it's a very nice bikini. But yeah,
also,
the
anyway, manufacturers at the moment, they're not releasing, because they're always in sort of R&D. They've always got clever things behind the scenes. That very few have released anything like overly exciting for 2021, because they don't want to release it now when no one can actually go out and buy it. They want to release it like next year when things are a bit better and people are actually going to buy the bits and bobs. So yeah, there's not a great deal of new and very exciting stuff. I think the most that we saw was the Shearwater Peregrine. We saw the new Apex line of bits and bobs. They were quite cool, but other than that, not a great deal arrived. So yeah, I mean, they've obviously designed stuff. They haven't announced it yet. They'll just announce it next year or later this year at DEMA.
I wonder what it's going to be. Like I said earlier, X-Deep are releasing unicorns.
Yeah. They'd sell. Anything with that X-Deep X would sell.
Exactly.
I've still got that screenshot of their April Fools this year with the gold bolt snaps.
Oh my god. You keep sending that to me in Slack. Oh, when are they going to do it? So it's like, I don't know. I'm not their mum. Why don't you drop them an email? Or just get your X-Deep bolt snaps and just get some spray paint and spray them gold.
We actually had one at the dive centre that I used to teach at. We had I think it was an Oceanic first stage, and they gold plated it just to see what would happen. And yeah, it looked all right. It wasn't like shiny gold. It was like a matte gold, but still, it was gold nevertheless.
There we go.
Anyway, yeah, moving on.
Do it. So let's jump. I'll quickly round up the next two. So Instagram, just want to say thank you to everyone who's been reposting, or basically, obviously, we're now reposting. It's early days, but the analytics on people looking at reposted images over just generic images is amazing. So just thank you to everyone who's interacting with that. Watching the little repost videos, liking, following, commenting. So thank you to everything like that. If you want your post to feature on our Instagram page, just use the hashtag simplyscuba. We'll find it, and if we think the picture is awesome, we will share it on our channel, and obviously, tag you in it as well, so it's there. So that's Instagram podcast. We've actually got a couple of cool things. So we actually have officially passed a milestone mark. As of recording, and as of the date that we're filming this, because it's probably going to change tomorrow, we have had the most streams, the most starts ever on the channel's history. So literally everything is going north, which is absolutely fantastic. But over the past month, there was basically, ever since we started the Deco Stop podcast, or just general podcast, there's always been a slow and steady upwards graph, basically. But over the past month, or maybe 2 months, no, it's not 2 months, definitely not 2 months, but basically there's been a sharp which is quite nice. So yeah, we're getting more followers, more watchers, more subscribers than ever, which is really, really cool. So yeah, it's just a nice thing to see that even though the podcast is it's not an afterthought, obviously, but the main show is this show that we're talking about. Everything else is just audio taken from your other videos. But it's working, and people seem to be liking the fact that it goes live before the main videos as well. I think that helps. But yeah, so that's a great milestone, which is awesome. Obviously, Spotify is still our number one for viewership and for listenership. So again, thanks to everyone and all the new subscribers over the past month. Thank you. And also we finally hit over 10,000 plays over third-party apps last month as well. So our beautiful voices were played 10,000 times in 10,000 people's ears, if that sort of works.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. I think that's awesome. So yeah, it's just awesome. So yeah, the podcast, like I said, it's something that I love doing. It's something that I want to do more of in the future. So it's just nice to see that even though this is the main show that we put, I say we put effort into it. We just hit the record button and talk gibberish.
Whatever happens.
Yeah, whatever happens. But yeah, it's just nice to see that it's paying off. I think even like subscriber-wise, just on Spotify, off the top of my head, we're nearly at 1,000 subscribers, which again I didn't think was possible when it comes to that sort of thing. But yeah, it's cool. Anyway, that's the social stuff. I'm going to stop blabbering on. What's the news, mate? What's the news?
So the first news story that caught my my eyes was Steve Feltham is upset at there's a new proposed fish farm. If you don't know Steve Feltham, he has the Guinness World Record for the longest vigil of looking for the Loch Ness Monster. I think he
needs to get a life.
He literally lives in like this sort of home on the shores of Loch Ness, and basically what he does is he keeps an eye out looking for Loch Ness. But actually, what he's mainly sort of upset about is the fact that Maui. So Maui, which is the world's largest producer of farmed Atlantic salmon, has received planning permission from the Highland Council to move its long-established site 220 metres northeast, and it's basically smack dab in the middle of this actual area of Loch Ness, which is sort of supposed to be one of the most beautiful sort of sites in the world, and obviously they're just going to ruin it. So, so Samsung apparently said that where they're planning to put it is the sixth best view in Britain after a poll of 2,500 people. They said that this specific area was the sixth best view in Britain. Fish farms, great. Wonderful.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just imagine though, do you reckon like this guy, so he's looking for Loch Ness, mate, and he's dedicated his life. Do you reckon it just started out as a joke at first? And I was just like, well, now I've got Guinness record. I just got to keep looking. He must know that it's all bull. I mean, I understand from a tourist perspective. Loch Ness is brilliant for tourism.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun. Yeah, but if you're dedicating your life to try and find this monster, you need to seriously, and I don't mean everyone can do what they want in life, you know what I mean, but you got to take a serious look at yourself and go, do I need to waste my life?
This really is the epitome of doubling down, because he saw something and his mate went, nah, you fool. It was just like a log or something. It's like, no, seriously, I saw this thing, and he's like, you know what? No, I'm going to double down. And like I'll see it again, and this time I'm going to be prepared. And 30 years later, still hasn't seen anything. I mean, actually, there was a documentary series recently, and it was what if we like drained all of the water out of certain like lakes and oceans, and they did one the other week on Loch Ness. And they had all this special radar scanners and things, and then they did this sort of very clever CGI like view of the bottom of Loch Ness and kind of what it looks like. If you haven't seen it, I think it was on Channel 5. It was quite interesting to watch, but obviously they didn't find Loch Ness. They did have some quite good sort of footage that people had taken, and you see this like thing like snaking through the water, and you're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I could see why people would think that. But yeah, there's a lot of nothing down there, I think.
Also, as well, I know obviously, you don't. The reason why you don't want this fishery or whatever there is to obviously, in all honesty, so it doesn't spoil the view. I totally understand that, and I'm on board with that. But if you really wanted Nessie, surely this sort of thing would attract it. All the fish. So he should really be gunning for it to prove himself. So, mate, or he realises that that's going to happen and he knows it's not real. So it's like, no, we don't want this. Oh, yeah, the views. Yeah, it's going to ruin the views. It's not going to prove me wrong.
The definite maybe. Anyway, Fourth Element have announced that they are doing a monthly sort of blog page about their sort of ocean positive or ocean positivity, and it is just interesting just to learn about different types of things that sort of companies like Fourth Element are doing to help become zero plastic and sort of carbon neutral, all that kind of stuff. And I think that by reading through it, it's going to be a monthly thing, just sort of going through what they're doing, how they're updating things. At the moment, they're actually looking for companies to help do a full carbon audit. So if you're into that, that's the kind of thing that you do, then they said just please drop us an email. So head over to fourthelement.com, and down at the bottom there'll be a contact us if you do carbon audits. If that's your thing, it's not something that I do, but yeah.
You should make that quite Fourth Element. That is interesting. A blog's good, but I think a video is better.
Well, I don't know, for SEO, that's a lot of words for Google to find.
Blog. No one reads blogs anymore. It's all video. Just put that in the description, or do both. If you've got that, you've got the script, so just put it into a video.
I was going to say, if people want, just let us know in the YouTube comments if you want myself or Sean to just read out the Fourth Element blog.
Oh, we can do a fireplace scene. You can get your smoker's jacket.
Anyway, onto some horrible news. Manatees are dying in Florida in record numbers. There's a few different reasons for this that people are sort of considering, and it's a matter of in 2013, the entire year of 2013, 830 manatees were confirmed to have died. That was the previous peak. So far in 2021, up until July the 2nd, 841 manatees have been confirmed dead. So we're like halfway through the year, and we've already broken the record. So there's a couple.
No. We haven't. They have. Don't say I'm not.
It's not. It's true.
We broke it. Woo!
So one of the reasons is, of course, increase in boat traffic. Previous year, obviously, fewer people were out and about, so the manatees sort of probably got a bit more relaxed. But now with boat traffic increasing, I think 63 manatees so far have been struck and killed by boats this year. But they're also looking at the everything from development, septic systems, stormwater runoff, warming temperatures, and I think they had a red tide. And this is, of course, killing the seagrass beds, which is their food source. So they literally don't have any food, and they're thinking this is sort of why so many have died so far this year.
So what they need to do is start throwing burgers in lakes so the manatees can eat, and chips.
Let's not do that, but yeah, we need to do something. We need to grow more seagrass.
Kebabs?
Just if you want to help, just plant some seagrass fields. And
in the ocean near there, not in your garden. That would be a bit silly. I'm helping the manatees. I've got a seagrass garden.
It's wilting. Next news story comes from one of the British divers who helped in the Thailand cave rescue a few years back. They've got the movie is sort of in production at the moment, and he was saying how amazed that the actors are taking it so seriously, and how they're sort of getting into characters. So Colin Farrell and Viggo Mortensen have actually been sort of doing a lot of work with the actual cave divers, learning about them, getting into their mannerisms, and one of them actually took up sort of long distance running, because that's what one of the cave divers was very much into. So yeah, it's they were just saying how sort of incredible it was that they're sort of getting into it so well. So this is going to be quite interesting when it's finally produced and comes out. So
who's behind it? Do you know who's behind the movie?
Let me just ask Google.
No, Ask Jeeves. They should do that. Oh, there should be a website called Ask Google.
Ask Google. I think that's just Google.
I want to type it in. What happens if I type in askgoogle.com? This is riveting stuff for the podcast.
I know. I'm sorry. We can cut some of this out.
No. Like I said, I don't cut anything out. Unless I swear or something, or I do a really, really offensive accent, but by accident, not thinking. It's interesting though. It's good to see method actors getting into it. You know what I mean? Getting into the mindsets. Yeah, it's this. See, this movie is either going to be awesome or it's just going to be bad. It's just going to be bad. Also, as well, when it comes out, who's going to care?
What do you mean? We'll care.
So what about something that happens? We already know what happens in the ends. I wonder who's going to be playing Elon Musk.
Oh, I imagine they're going to skip over that part.
Why?
So it's 13 Lives. At the moment, it's scheduled to be released in 2022. It's directed by Ron Howard. Colin Farrell, Viggo Mortensen, Joel Edgerton, Tom Bateman.
Ron Howard. Do you know who they should have got to do it?
Mm-hmm.
The guy who did Deepwater Horizon. He's like really intense. He's like a really intense director. And him and Mark Wahlberg are bros, mate. But if anyone could have made that... I mean, he made that BP Deepwater Horizon look well epic. And it was horrible. Like, yeah. I don't know. Oh, it's going to be serious, isn't it? Ron Howard's...
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the tone that I'm into, because he did Apollo 13, didn't he?
Yeah, that was when he was good. He hasn't done a good movie in ages. He also did Han Solo, Christ's sake.
Oh, was that hit? Oh.
Yeah, exactly. What else has he done? Ron Howard. There you go, guys. Deco Stop.
Yeah.
Ron Howard.
Arrested Development. Oh, no, actor. Who?
Yeah, no, let's go to director. So directing careers, we want 2000. So the last good movie I would say he did was Frost and Nixon. And even then, it's in between those god-awful Da Vinci Code movies. And the last best movie he probably ever did.
Oh, he did Rush. I enjoyed
Cinderella.
Rush.
Rush is boring. There we go.
Anyway.
Ron Howard. So that movie's going to suck. Ron, if you're listening to this, we would love to have a preview of the movie when it's released. I would love to do a review of it. I won't be negative.
I don't think he's gonna be on board with that. Anyway,
the news. Let's carry on.
Recently, 4 world records, freediving records, were set on day 1 at Vertical Blue 2021. So this was at Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas. And so Russia's Alexei Molchanov claimed a new men's world record in the free immersion discipline, diving down to 126 meters. That dive was 4 minutes and 45 seconds. France's Arnaud Gerald set new men's constant weight with bifins world record with a 116 meter dive. That was 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Blimey.
On the women's side, Italy's Alessia Zaccini broke the women's world record in the constant weight discipline, 115 meter dive. And then the fourth one was Alejandro Lemus of Mexico with a 95 meter constant weight dive. Just
wow.
Incredible. Well, all this kind of stuff, when you look at the free divers, they do some incredible stuff. I rely on my twin 12s.
I don't even get in the water.
The bath's too deep.
Mate, I took my little one swimming middle of the week, and the water was only up to my ankles. I was panicking. I'm joking. I'm a very competent, good swimmer. I love the water. That's what you get with living by the ocean.
Yeah,
yeah, mate. What those guys do, whew.
Oh, it's nuts.
Yeah. Good on them, but then also as well, just nuts, mate.
And the final bit of news is Gareth Lock has announced an inaugural Human Factors in Diving conference. So this is pretty cool.
Wow, that sounds like fun.
It's all about diving safety, and it's basically a digital conference, basically. I forget, it's not on Zoom, it's like Excel or something. Not
well, the spreadsheet. Wow, you type in this Excel code and it comes up with a video.
LexGo, LEXGO. I've not heard of it before. But yeah, if you head over to hf-in-diving-conference.com.
I'll pin the link to that in the comments in the YouTube video, guys.
And it is actually interesting to sort of go through the website, because they do all sorts of different sort of webinars teaching people about just how and why incidents happen whilst diving and how to avoid them, obviously. But this is the first big conference, like a dive show, but focused specifically on sharing knowledge and skills to make diving more sort of safer and enjoyable. It's going to be the 24th and the 25th of September this year. It's UK based, so it starts at 10 a.m. GMT. And if you want to head over to the website, you can sort of buy tickets, look at the schedule, look at the speakers, and all that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
But it's. I imagine it's going to be a little bit similar to what was it, DEMA last year. You basically have this online portal where you can just log on at your leisure. You can watch the different things. You can watch live if you want, but you can probably still sort of watch them after the fact as well. So if you're sort of into that, they say it's not sort of training agency specific or level. It's just whoever and anybody who wants to become a better diver, just check it out. And
you better check it out then, Mark.
Well,
I think you should anyway. I think even if you think that you're the greatest diver in the world, mate, you don't know. No one knows everything, and other people might have a tack. You know what I mean? A different approach on things. So it's always good to do that.
That's the worst thing. If you consider yourself bulletproof, then you'll soon find out where the gap in your knowledge is.
It's called death. That's the gap. Death. Well, that's
death
cool,
or
mate.
the chamber. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's it. If you've seen anything interesting, let us know in the comments below or in any of the sort of YouTube videos. Just sort of post a link and we will find it.
And delete it. Yeah. No, Mark, what's the product of the week? Go on. You were going to do it and I'm just going to cut in. Bam!
I was about to.
know.
So this week I'm talking about Kubi dry glove systems. If you're new to...
It's because it's the only thing we've got. I'm joking.
No, I could have talked about the full set of dry gloves, or...
No, what you should have done is you should have talkated about the Simply Scuba 2-litre dry bag. With the view.
Somewhere, yeah.
Because Apex have nicked it. They ripped it off, mate, and they've done their own version of it.
Not quite. They did make it substantially different to ours.
Nah,
it's just a similar size. Ours is a bit lighter. That's about all.
And cheaper.
And cheaper, true. Anyway, so Kubi dry gloves. So dry glove systems are very clever. Instead of having a dry suit that kind of ends at the wrist, these actually create an air pocket over your hands as well. And if you know the benefits of a dry suit, then you know the benefits of keeping your body and how air is a better insulator than water. So by keeping your gloves as this airtight chamber, you actually need less insulation underneath. So Kubi systems, they are a ring system, and it's basically a ring that fits to your cuff seal. If you have standard latex cuffs, you basically get a metal ring that kind of goes on the inside and then clamps onto the outside of that latex seal. And then you have a second ring that attaches to the glove, and those two just dock together. And then your hand is basically in this isolated sort of dry sort of air pocket. You wear a thin sort of woolen glove underneath it, so you still have a lot of dexterity. You can still do very complicated things in the water, but your hands stay nice and dry. Obviously, because it's a sealed air pocket, you need to be able to equalize it, so all you have to do is just use you either use like a piece of string, there's sometimes you can get silicone tubing, just a small capillary tube, and you put that underneath your cuff seal to your dry suit. That just allows you to equalize that airspace. But I've used these before. They're tough as nails. I prefer dry gloves over wet gloves. I know some divers prefer wet gloves because if they fail, it doesn't really matter if your hands get wet. But actually, touch wood with these dry gloves, they've never let me down.
You shouldn't have said that.
I know. I have ripped a glove before, like 10 minutes before a dive, but all you do is you just pop a little ring out, fit a new glove, and then you're ready to go diving again. It's really quick and easy. But yeah, if you're looking for a dry glove system, it's definitely worth considering the Kubi, because yeah, they are made out of metal, so they're very, very strong. A lot of the other competitors are made out of plastic, so yeah, if they're sort of rattling around in your gear bag, they can bend and snap. If you're diving in extremely cold temperatures, then yeah, the plastic naturally contracts and can crack, whereas the metal is much stronger. Yeah, definitely worth checking it out. So Kubi, spelt with a K. Check them out on simplyscuba.com.
Yeah, I was going to say, where can you purchase these amazing gloves? And if you want, what you can do with them, if you're a massive Marvel fan, spray them gold, go to Poundland and get yourself some gems, and it looks like you've got the gauntlet. And you can go underwater, click your fingers.
That is a thing that could happen.
Yeah, exactly.
No one would hear you, but...
No one... Well, they wouldn't, because they'd all, like, evaporate. Do you just imagine if that was real, and then when the blip happened and they all came back, people were actually scuba diving underwater, and they're like... And they're like, what would happen? Like, what would be the ramifications of their body?
Of yeah,
it's like the people that were on an aeroplane. They'd blip.
No, because I read an interview with one of the, or both of the Russos, and they said no, because what's his name, Bruce Banner, considered that, and individually sort of thought to put them down on the ground so they didn't just plummet to their depth.
See, if that was me, I'd be like, see what happens.
Yeah.
It's your second chance, mate.
But no, scuba diving. Yeah, that would be quite interesting.
Yeah,
What happened to the
diving.
scuba divers during the blip? Because they'd come back with their scuba equipment, so that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, but like they could
would
be like
lost at sea.
lost at sea, and like depending on where they are, they could have like if it was that accurate of where they went, and if something was there at the time, so like a whale was passing, would they then go into the whale? I'm thinking way too much of this, guys. Let's have this is a conversation to have in the comments below, guys. Marvel fans, scuba divers in the blip. What the heck happened to him? Let's have a very serious chat about it in the comments. But Mark, I want to talk to you about something rather cool. So in England, we are, for better or worse, dropping every single thing when it comes to COVID in general. Obviously, not necessarily travel, but as of the 19th, is it the 19th of August, the 16th of August? We obviously, in the UK, we have a traffic light system. Green, countries we can visit. Amber, we can visit, but if we come back, we have to basically quarantine. And red is, don't even think about that country. But as of August the 16th, 19th, whenever it is, amber countries, if you're double jabbed, you now no longer have to quarantine. So, because of this news, everyone on social media is being ramping up, going diving, going to Egypt. They're all super, super duper excited. So, the question I put to you is, with COVID easing around the world, and I have to put an exclamation mark, COVID is not gone. It will never go. It's here for the rest of our lives. Which is also another reason why we kind of just got to get on with it, because it ain't going anywhere. Will scuba diving, because it has had a global scuba diving, should I say, it has had a rough nearly 1.5 to nearly 2 years. Is it going to bounce back quickly?
I think so. I mean, I was visiting my dive centre a couple weekends back, and
you cheating on us. How dare you?
And they were actually inundated with students. So I think a lot of people have been sort of during lockdown wanting to sort of do something different, looking at scuba diving, and they're like, oh yeah, actually, and sort of getting themselves into it. Obviously, people who are already qualified and wanting have been chomping at the bit to sort of get back into the water. So yeah, I think diving is going to bounce back, and we'll probably see this kind of peak of when your country releases you, you can start traveling again.
You're free to go,
basically. So yeah, I think a lot of people are going to go, oh yeah, I really need to sort of go out and just go diving again. Especially if you own your own equipment, because there's that kind of sense of, well, I bought this for a reason. I need to get my money's worth out of it. So definitely. Yeah, I think divers are going to first, not excuse, but first chance they get to, let's go diving again. Let's sort of see. And it's worth being in that first group, because all of the dive sites have been virtually undived for the past year and a half at least. So they're going to be as pristine as they ever will be. It's the best quality they're going to be for a long time. So yeah, it's definitely worth sort of going out there. Obviously, do it responsibly. Make sure you are sort of vaccinated. You're not spreading the Lambda variant or whatever the up-to-date variant is these days. But yeah, it definitely sort of head out there. Go diving local as well, but obviously make sure that you sort of tested your equipment properly. Do it somewhere safe first, and then sort of travel abroad. But I think it will bounce back, and people will get sort of back into it. because it's that escape, isn't it? We've all been locked up for far too long. It's nice to get back into the swing of things and just get away. And a lot of people enjoy scuba diving for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, from a non-diving perspective, I've booked a holiday for next year, because it was super cheap, because no one's going, like, and obviously I've got a family now, so like the little man's going for free, but I booked it far in advance that it's something to look forward to. But you know, there is a very strong possibility that I actually won't be going, but if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, that's really, it's good to, I really do hope, obviously for the company, for us, Simply Scuba, really do hope it bounces back. But for just the sport in general, that would be amazing. But with the bounce back, do you reckon this is going to stop people from diving locally? Because obviously in the UK, the majority of divers that live in the UK, they honestly, they dive in Egypt, don't they? Let's be honest with you. They go to Egypt to dive. They don't dive in the UK. Now, obviously, a lot of them started diving in the UK, which was fantastic. They actually saw what our amazing oceans have to offer. Do you reckon that we're going to see that a decline, or has it been like they never really thought about the UK diving? Now when they're not going on holiday, they're actually going to go in UK waters again? Because I mean, what was really, really nice, obviously, someone who we've worked with closely before, Sarah Richards, obviously the founder of Girls That Scuba. She's known to, she goes all over the world, doesn't she? That's her job. But obviously, being stuck in the UK, she did wild swimming. She's been doing some UK diving, some UK snorkeling, and to see, again, I haven't spoken to her for years, but from what the conversations that we've had in the past, where she's always been about, not necessarily always been about, but where abroad in Europe and warmer diving climates has always been her thing. It's been really nice to look at her feed and see UK diving, her in UK waters, swimming and snorkeling. It's fantastic. And we've had conversations with people before, again, including Sarah, where, you talk about water temperature, and they instantly, when they think of UK, they go, oh, no, it's too cold for me, under 28 degrees. But you look at her post and she's just like, look, I'm in 14 degrees water, and I'm the happiest I've been in a long time in this water. What are your thoughts about that as well?
Yeah, I reckon there's been a certain percentage of people who have transitioned to diving locally. I don't imagine it's anywhere near like 60-70%. I imagine it's close to like 30%. But I think people will have sort of experienced sort of diving at home, and then you'll still sort of go on holiday, but you'll probably find that they'll go diving sort of twice a year now, instead of like once a year out to the Red Sea. The Red Sea is an incredible place because it's relatively close for us, and the cost is very low, but what you actually get to see out there diving is incredible. But you'll probably find that they go out to the Red Sea once a year, but they also go to, I don't know, either one of our sort of training lakes or diving off the coast once a year, as well as like a staycation. So I imagine it's kind of it'll become a bit of a hybrid where people are sort of doing a little bit of both.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's exciting. Thanks, COVID.
Yes.
I think.
Sort of.
Thanks for helping the UK diving scene and getting people who would never have thought about diving in the UK, getting them in the waters, whether that's scuba diving, swimming, or snorkeling. It's all an amazing experience. That is it, though, guys. What are your thoughts? Were you one of those people that just went diving on a liveaboard in the Red Sea for like a week or two, or would only ever dive in warmer waters? And being in lockdown, has it made you look at UK diving? Have you been UK diving for the first time, and did you love it? Did you hate it? Let us know in the comments below. I'd love to know your experiences. Just for interest, really, for nothing else. We're not going to make a video out of it, but just to spread your thoughts, your messages, and your experiences. Because again, you might influence someone else to go UK diving that never really thought about it before. That is right, guys. You could become an influencer. And on that bombshell, Mark, we should end the show because that is disgusting.
So, if you enjoyed anything,
anything, if you enjoyed anything
that you heard today, then don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Simply Scuba channels. Of course, don't forget to sort of hit us up on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. If you're listening to us as a podcast, try and rate us in sort of whatever facility that you can, and comment
or send us
as much
donuts.
as possible.
When it comes to, you send us donuts. Yeah, thanks.
Either or, one or either, but neither both. Anyway, don't forget to check out simplyscuba.com because we sell all sorts of incredible scuba diving equipment. We also have 0% finance and different payment options, including Klarna and Adyen. If you do have any questions, comments, queries, or corrections, then in your comments, try and use the hashtag #AskMark. It just makes it a lot easier for us to find it and sort of focus on it. And that is it. Thank you for listening, everybody, and safe diving.
Yeah, stay classy, scuba divers.
The Deco Stop podcast is produced and recorded by Simply Scuba, the UK's #1 dive store. Visit today at simplyscuba.com.